Top 10 Greatest Best Boxers of All Time.
Boxing is one of the most historical and popular sports of all times. Boxers are the dream players of every boxing loving person. Here we going to give you brief review on top 10 greatest boxers of all time.
Top 10. Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard was named the Boxer of the Decade for the 1980s and had an exceptional career, winning world titles in 5 weight divisions. He won gold at the 1976 Olympic Games in Montreal and was the first boxer to make $100 million from purses. Sugar Ray should have retired with only one career defeat to Roberto Duran, but instead came out of retirement twice, looking a shadow of his scintillating best on both occasions, resulting in a career total of 40 fights, 36 wins, 3 losses and 1 draw.
Top 9. Jack Dempsey.
Jack Dempsey was immensely popular in the US throughout the 1920s and was the face of the sport, which was, at the time, arguably the most popular sport in the country. Handsome, charismatic and a very hard and fast hitter, Dempsey was loved by men and women alike. The Associated Press even named Dempsey the greatest fighter of the last 50 years. Dempsey fought 83 times, winning 65 times, losing 6 times and drawing 11 times. Dempsey was world heavyweight champion from 1919 to 1926.
Top 8. Rocky Marciano.
Rocky Marciano's detractors point to the fact that the heavyweight division was not at its strongest when Marciano dominated the division from 1947 to 1955. He had an exceptionally short boxing career for someone at his level. Yet Marciano still defeated Joe Louis, Jersey Joe Walcott and Archie Moore. Marciano's record speaks for itself. He is the only heavyweight world champion to have gone his entire career undefeated, and he has the highest KO percentage of any heavyweight world champion. He ended his career with a record of 49 fights, 49 wins and 43 KOs.
Top 7. Benny Leonard.
Of all time, Benny Leonard was born out of a Jewish Manhattan slum and began fighting on the street. Leonard became lightweight champion in 1917, retiring as champion in 1925. Having lost almost his entire fortune to the 1929 stock market crash, Leonard was forced into making a return to the ring 7 years after his retirement. Following his return, he won 18 of his 19 bouts, losing his last fight to fellow Hall of Famer Jimmy McLennan. Leonard is remembered as one of the finest all-round boxers of all time, who had quick feet, a solid defense and explosive power in his punches.
Top 6. Sonny Liston.
Probably the most controversial placement on this list is Sonny Liston being as high as 6th place, but hear me out. Sonny Liston is a criminally underrated heavyweight fighter who has been terribly hard done by history. He was a very shady character and he never endeared himself to the public much in the way Ali or Foreman did, but that should not detract from his boxing prowess. He annihilated top-class fighters like Cleveland Williams and Floyd Patterson, often within a single round. He lost the first fight to Ali having done very little training and carrying an injury, and most likely threw the second fight. It is worth remembering that Liston may have been as old as 45 by the second Ali fight. At his best, Liston was the complete heavyweight boxer, and he shouldn't merely be remembered as the guy Ali knocked out when Liston was twice his age.
Top 5. Willie Pep.
Widely considered the greatest featherweight boxer of all time, Willie Pep was a two-time world featherweight champion. His career spanned 26 years, in which time Pep fought 241 times, winning 229 times, losing 11 times and drawing once. A record made all the more impressive when one considers that Pep was seriously injured in a plane crash in 1947, midway through his career. Legend has it that Pep is the only man to have ever won a round of boxing without throwing a punch, and he is best remembered for his bewildering speed, quick feet and remarkable defense.
Top 4. Henry Armstrong.
Henry Armstrong was a world champion in 3 different weight divisions, at a time when there were only 8 weight divisions. Even more remarkable than this, Armstrong held all 3 titles at the same time. He remains the only man to have ever done this. Armstrong became featherweight champion in 1937, welterweight champion in 1938 and lightweight champion the same year. He faced a staggering 17 world champions over the course of his career, and beat 15 of them.
Top 3. Joe Louis.
Joe Louis is one of the titans of boxing history. He became an American hero, particularly among the African American community, for his rise from a poor family of 8 kids to international superstar. His first major bout came against Max Baer, who had already killed a man in the ring, but Louis won by KO in 4 rounds. His first loss came against the German Max Schmeling. He became heavyweight champion of the world in 1937, and beat Schmeling 2 years after their first meeting in the fight of the decade. He remained world heavyweight champion until his retirement, having held the position for over 11 years and defending his title 25 times, a record in any weight division.
Top 2. Sugar Ray Robinson.
As alluded to earlier, it is precisely because of the prowess of Sugar Ray Robinson in the middleweight division that the need for a pound-for-pound system came into being. He is regarded by many as the greatest pound-for-pound boxer to have ever lived. He became welterweight world champion in 1946, a title he held for 5 years until stepping up to the middleweight division, where he became world champ once more. Sugar Ray attempted the step up to light heavyweight but found it too much for him. He is widely regarded as the most complete fighter of all time. He lost only one of his first 123 fights, against Jake LaMotta, who he then beat 5 times. After being utterly dominant in the welterweight division, he was still successful at middleweight level, becoming the first boxer to win a division title 5 times.
Top 1. Muhammad Ali.
Boxing knows that all of you suckers bow. Come to Muhammad Ali. I am the man.
Ali thoroughly deserves top spot on this list. He is the greatest boxer of all time. There has never been a heavyweight fighter who moved like Ali. The Ali of that time was the greatest heavyweight boxer to have lived. He was suspended at the age of 25, arguably at his best, and didn't return to the ring until he was almost 29. His first defeat came at the hands of Joe Frazier, who he beat convincingly in the 2 rematches. Ken Norton was the only other man to beat Ali, before the regrettable final few years of his career, when he was a shadow of his former self. Ali fought in the toughest weight division during its golden era, and emerged the greatest. His list of defeated opponents include Henry Cooper, Sonny Liston, Floyd Patterson, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton and George Foreman. Despite losing his finest years, Ali remains the only 3-time heavyweight world champion in history.